health and safety with myself, Jasper. It's always a pleasure just to come and talk to you on issues to do with health and safety. It's always a pleasure to do so. Right, today's episode, I just want to talk about, just to encourage you about a small booklet which I wrote. It's called The Practical Guide to OHS Implementation. That's what I'm talking about here. I wrote this book a few years ago just to help different health and safety practitioners, different managers, business owners, just to give them a guide on how to implement health and safety at the workplace in the event that they need to do so in terms of legal compliance. So I'm just doing this short exhortation, encouragement to say that if you need this book, drop me an email and I'll be able to send you a soft copy of this book. I have it in A5, but I have it in booklet form. As you can see, it's just the size of my hand, in A6 as well. Just a short booklet which covers 10 essential topics to do with health and safety, which I found to be very critical when you are implementing the basics of occupational health and safety. So in this particular episode, I just wanted to go through it quickly and just tell you what you'll find inside. And you can drop me an email at jasper@Ndebele&Partners, and we'll be able to send it through you, jasper@ndebele&partners.com. And we'll be able to drop you a copy, or jasperndebele@gmail.com for my Gmail, and I'll be able to send you a copy free of charge. This is just to help each other grow, help you grow as I grow as well in health and safety. There are 10 simple chapters in this booklet. Chapter 1, I talk about hazard identification and risk assessment. That's the first chapter. Here I'm just expanding or defining what is hazard identification, 3 types of hazards, how to write a risk assessment, critical elements of a risk assessment. That's what I'm looking at and touching on this particular episode. And on that particular chapter, I'm in chapter 1 of this booklet. And I just explained the legal background that, the issue of risk assessments is emanating from Section 8.1 of the Health and Safety Act, which says an employer has to provide a workplace which is safe and without risk. So that's what I'll be doing on chapter 1. Chapter 2, I talk about safe work procedures, because the logical flow from risk assessments is then to take the controls which you find or which you have come up with on the risk assessment and create a safe work procedure using them. So I then talk about safe work procedures, how to do a safe work procedures, why are safe work procedures important, and those elements. That's what I touch on. That's chapter 2. Chapter 3, I look at planned task observations. Planned task observations are a natural follow through from safe work procedures, because when you implement health and safety, you want to go and make sure that is the procedures which I gave these guys, are they actually being followed on the ground? And you confirm that by the use of planned task procedures. That's what we are, planned task observations, PTOs. That's what we do, and I ventilate that on chapter 3. Chapter 4, I look at legal appointments. Like I said on the other episodes, health and safety implementation is a team sport. It's a team sport, guys. It's a team sport. So it's very critical then to work with several people. So I talk about legal appointments, the different people we have to appoint, what an appointment letter should have or look like, the different elements and aspects and facts associated with legal appointments, and how to do it effectively. So that's what I touch on chapter 4. Chapter 5, I look at registers and checklists. I differentiate what is the difference between a register and a checklist. How does a register function and what is its purpose? What is a checklist and what is its purpose? And I give you several examples of checklists which you may need to implement at your workplace. So I touch on that and I place that in there for you to work with. That's chapter 5. Chapter 6, I look at emergency preparedness and response. Yeah, I'm just ventilating the issue of fire drills, who are the role players in an emergency, what to do, what not to do, and I talk at length concerning that, which will help you implement. Chapter 7, I look at safety reps, how to nominate and elect safety reps, what is the legal background or legal requirement concerning safety reps, and I look at duties, of safety reps and their functions, what is expected of them, and all sorts of things. Chapter 8, I look at incident accident investigation, when to investigate, how to investigate, who must investigate, and all those associated aspects. I think in chapter 29, I recently did an episode where I was looking at the timelines for incident investigation. So you can check that episode 29 as well. Then chapter 9, I then looked at the safety file. Safety file. I looked at a 30-point safety file. Some safety files have 15 points or 15 areas. I looked at one with 30 and went into explaining each and every one of them so that when you're creating a safety plan, you have an idea of what is required. Then lastly, chapter 10, I looked at the online safety management system, where I was just ventilating on how we're living in the fourth industrial revolution, nearing the fifth. So it's important and critical that you move on with the times as a safety officer. Move on with the times. Make sure that you have an online safety management system you are using, and it will go a long way. So I get to motivate as to why it's important and why you should have one and how it will add value to your organization. So those are the 10 chapters which I cover in this particular book. And like I said, drop me an email. It's free of charge. I'll drop it to you, drop you a soft copy. The idea, comrades, I'll call you comrades, is to help each other grow, help each other become better and better. Of course, it goes without saying for me, when I do this, it's part of my business model. So yes, there is financial benefit to me, but to you, there is the benefit of getting additional information, additional knowledge, and hopefully growth in the process. Thank you so much for joining me on this episode. Drop me an email, drop me a WhatsApp, drop me Facebook inbox on our Facebook page, and we'll talk. If you need any trainings, get in touch and let's help each other out. Thank you very much for joining me for this episode. You have a great day and a great Sunday.